Alrighty, Shalom. Before we get started, I'd like to first and foremost give all praises on the glory to our Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rechak double honors to our apostles and others, great Muslim and Taurus truth and rule well, and peace and blessings to the elect of the nation of Israel, which consists of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, as well as the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad. All right, and pretty much with this group lesson, we wanted to touch on pretty much what's going on with the tariffs on these nations, man. All right, and what you have, okay, with these tariffs being placed on Chinese imports, all right, it's affecting the shipments coming into America, man. Okay, which is all going to lead to supply shortages, all right, and as we're going to see in the near future, famines, man. All right, food prices skyrocketing, and it's all being done by design, okay, because his devil has an agenda to fulfill. Okay, you got your boy Trump in there, which he's moving fast, and Trump was their dude to get the job done. So he's pretty much in there to kind of fast track things into this NWO. All right, you got something to say, Aka?
Yeah. And, like the brother mentioned in the beginning of the lesson, yes, there's going to be food shortages, but another thing people are starting to see, people are starting to be terrified about is the grinding, because the grinding is ceasing. UPS laying off 20,000 workers. Even where I'm working at, they're soon to lay people off. Port, they're soon to lay people off there. That is going to have on our economy. The impact is going to turn this place into soon to come a third world country. With everything that's going on in this place, the prophecy is moving very, 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 very fast, opposed to when I gave it the truth. Now we're starting to see the vision come to life. It's the difference between prophesying and seeing it. And now we're seeing the vision come to life, and everybody's scrambling. Just like the scriptures would say. And Bob Kashaw, can you get that? A little bit of that video I sent you?
Yeah.
And then also after like maybe like 2 or 3 minutes, place, can you jump to like the 9-minute mark and then you listen to a little bit of it?
God.
You got people like Dabu Seven, the Canadian prepper. She said she had a lot of food saved, and she got money from being a WWE fighter and a UFC fighter, right? All that's carnal, and she really stacking that up for the men of the Lord. Dabu Seven is scared. Canadian prepper scared. Because the scriptures say that those that be in the field should be slain with the sword too. So the country hillbillies that try to go and be a doomsday prepper, the Lord's going to get them as well. You're not exempt just because you don't live on a street address. If you don't live on 525 Street, you're not exempt from judgment. It might take a little bit longer to get to you, but you're not exempt from judgment. And when you take a man's job, okay, when you take a man's job, you take his livelihood. They got to deal with not paying their bills. So these people are literally going crazy right before our eyes, and it's a beautiful thing to see. Because these people fan their hands at us. They didn't want to listen. They laughed at us. So now they're seeing what those crazy guys in the corner was talking about, and they're also going to try to inquire, but it's going to be too late.
Right. Yeah. If I may add, you seen what happened with the blackouts over there in Europe, all right, in Spain, I believe parts of France. That's going to make its way to America. Okay. And best believe when that happens, all right, when something like that hits this infrastructure over here in America, okay, it's not going to take a whole lot of time before people, start to bug out and shit really hit the fan, you know. In the case of a blackout, there's a lot of components to this infrastructure here in America that are backed by the power grid,
Right.
When something like that happens, this place is going to be through, man.
Right. You get that?
Yeah.
Financial experts are sounding the alarm of the potential impacts of the global trade war
and new warnings about a potential recession amid the trade war with China. Consumer sentiment plummeting to one of the lowest levels on record amid a fierce trade war. Retailers are warning of empty shelves with the 145% tariff on nearly all Chinese imports in place.
We're a few weeks away from starting to see the early effects of what will happen in the transportation of goods.
The crisis we're facing can't be overstated. Nearly every U.S. industry depends on Chinese imports, and that flow is now grinding to a halt. I wish I was exaggerating, but I'm not. According to the World Trade Organization, trade between the United States and China could decline by as much as 80%. Even the U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has called this an effective trade embargo. That's why economists say the U.S. recession is now almost a coin flip.
The escalating trade tensions between the United States and China pose a significant risk of a sharp contraction in their bilateral trade. Our preliminary projections suggest that merchandise trade between these two economies could decrease by as much as 80%. The negative macroeconomic effects will not be confined to US and China alone, but will extend to other countries.
Unless something changes, this is going to be the biggest shock to our economy in decades. At the moment, our stores are filled with products that are manufactured in factories in China. But now, many of those factories have gone eerily quiet. I know several factories that have told half of their employees to go home for a few weeks and stop most of their production, said Cameron Johnson, Shanghai-based senior partner at consulting firm Tidal Wave Solutions. He said factories making toys, sporting goods, and low-cost dollar store-type goods are the most affected right now. While not large-scale yet, it is happening in the key export hubs of Yiwu and Dongguan, and there's a concern that it will grow, Johnson said.
Let's just skip to that 9-minute mark.
Yeah, and then we'll listen to like a minute of the 9 so we can commentate on it.
Would you want me to start out?
Just like 9 minutes flat, and then we'll listen to like a minute of the 9 minutes, and then we can just get into some scriptures.
Okay.
This economy. Based on the transport time required for goods from China, U.S. consumers could start to notice trade-related shortages in their local stores next month, according to the presentation. Schlock wrote in a note to clients, this will likely lead to supply gaps across various sectors, including retail and manufacturing. He emphasized that the ripple effects may not be immediate, but when they arrive, they'll hit hard.
You want to stop there? Or?
Yeah, that's perfect. You lost.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6, and verse 22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty.
Right. Yeah, the full storehouses, these grocery stores, these are, outlets like you have Sam's Club, Walmart, wherever you can get your hands on, groceries, man. Because like what's going on with these tariffs, and there aren't a whole lot of shipments coming into the U.S. That's going to affect the supply chain.
Yeah. Ultimately, those pictures that you saw in the video, in the beginning, the gentleman said that, should I say, he said that we're a few weeks from seeing this. Us being vigilant and being on our watch, it sounds like it's a few weeks till Jacob's trouble really kicks off, till things really start snowballing. Because it's snowballing now, but till the snowball starts like this, a small little ball, then it gets to a bigger ball. And that's what's taking place right now. People lose it when they go to Costco and they buy a bundle of chicken no more, a bundle of eggs no more. a Capri Sun package no more. People are gonna lose it because really these people are addicted to the food. You put all that chemicals and shit in there. People are addicted to it like it's a drug. You know, so once they what do crack fiends do when they can't get their food? They go crazy. You know, what is also on the other end, you got somebody you call a workaholic. What do they do when they can't work a lot? They go mad. They start blowing up on everybody. I can't pay my damn bill. My credit score is dropping. So you're gonna have two things hitting them at once, as well as the other plagues, like the brother mentioned, the blackout. That's coming to Babylon as well. You know, so these people are really about to lose their head. You show somebody that picture of the empty store shelves and they said that's crazy if that happened. Well, what happened during the pandemic? The same thing took place, but this is gonna be way worse. People are still able to get sandwich meat, bread, a little bit of water. This is gonna really hit hard. The Lord said that my servants shall eat and ye should be hungry. People are gonna be hungry. Get the precept real quick.
God.
Book of Joel 1, and I'm gonna start at verse 10. The field is wasted, the land mourneth, for the corn is wasted, the new wine dried up, the oil, and it's going into these resources. You know, people aren't gonna have. They're not gonna be able to get gas. They're not gonna be able to get food. Their favorite Krispy Kreme donut with the sprinkles on it. You know, what's that famous cookie place out by where we live? It's called Crumble Cookie. They're gonna be able to get their crumble cookie. It's bullshit anyway. It's a bunch of sugar, you know, which causes cancer. They set it up. You know, people gonna finally feel what it feels like to not eat every hour, every 30 minutes, like these Babylonians do. Bodybuilders every 2 hours. These people eat like they bodybuilders, but they fat. They eat a Pizza Hut in the morning, Church's chicken for lunch, Carl's Jr. for pre dinner, and then they throw in Krispy Kreme or something like that for dinner. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. So these people are gonna lose it, and then they ain't gonna even have the money to buy the food because the grinding is ceasing. So, like I said, you're gonna have multiple things happening at once. You had Eve on that channel that talks about prophecy this week, saying that her dog in the backyard, they're gonna cook it as a feast. Rock dog up for a good dinner. She said that I don't know if it's her, but one of the Eves of the video said that people are gonna start doing things that you wouldn't even be able to believe when it comes down to survival. Things like eating their kids. They're not gonna tell you that 501c3 church. You get this last part. It says, the vine is dried up and the fig tree languish. Pomegranate tree, I'll skip the part. Verse 11, Joel 1:11. Be O ye husbands, farmers. How, O ye vine dressers, for the wheat and for the barley, because the harvest of the field is perished. The vine is dried up, the fig tree languisheth. The pomegranate tree, the palm also, and the apple, even all the field are withered. Okay, because all these resources are going to be stripped away. They got orders telling farmers to destroy their crops, and if you don't destroy them, they're gonna get you. Doesn't that sound like a lot like the Roman Empire? If you don't want to do what they said, they'll throw the hammer on you. This is the Roman Empire revived. Okay, the deadly wound is healed, and once they get wounded this time, once we take them down this time, that's it. So that's why this devil is going so hard to do everything he can to get his NWO set up in place. One of the strategic things they're doing is crashing the economy on purpose so they can set it up so they can have full control. Verse 12, it says, well, I already got that, but I'm gonna get the last part of verse 12. It says, because joy is withered away from the sons of men, and everybody's joy is withered away right now. It don't matter what nation you belong to, everybody's head is down, everybody's sad that their vacation in Cancun, Mexico is canceled. Okay, that they can't go to Vegas anymore because finances are so tight, which those aren't even priorities. Those are necessities. Girls trip to blow rod all weekend. You know, they're gonna be worried about real food, raiment, shelter. You look at that, Lord, you know, and we don't say truth.
Con, I'm but Eli, you still holding that 2 Ezra 6?
Con, this is verse 23. This book is 2 Ezra chapter 6 and verse 23. And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid.
Yeah, and the trumpet is given to sound by way of the Lord's prophets, man. All right, because that's the mouthpiece of the Heavenly Father.
That's
All right,
right.
before the Lord comes down with His judgment, He sends out His prophets, man, to give the warning. These people can't say that, you know, these people can't say that nobody told them so, that these things were going to come down the pipe. No, I got a quick plea on that. Jeremiah 28:8, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. You see? And the prophets are back in their lot to do the same exact thing. We're prophesying the downfall of America, aka Babylon the Great. Well, all these things we're gonna be seen in this place. The famines, pestilence, evil, war. All right. The Lord said He was gonna hit Egypt, this modern day Egypt, with plagues as before.
Yeah.
And Egypt actually went through a famine back then. You could read about that during the time of our forefather Jacob, and his sons. And he had Joseph, which was in Egypt at the time. Maybe Egypt was hit with something like a blackout as well. Real quick, I wanted to grab. You can continue on that.
This is verse 24. And at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run.
Yeah, it said, at that time shall friends fight one another like enemies. Why is that going to be happening? Because for one, if a brother can grab that second Ezra, I believe 15, where it talks about a man spoiling his neighbor for the lack of goods, for great tribulation. I believe it's second Ezra 15.
Oh,
15 and 19.
All right. This is second Ezra 15 and 19.
Oh, actually started at 18.
Okay. Second 15 and 18. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the house shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid.
Yeah, and all this is coming down because of these people's pride. These people are proud as all hell over here in this society, man. Case in point, you got these the alphabet people, doing these pride marches and shit over here. This place is sick, man. Hey, Esau, he's most proud. But you got a lot of our people in that spirit as well.
19.
Yeah.
Man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and for the goods because of the lack of bread, and for great tribulation.
Yeah, for lack of bread, which is a famine, all right, and for great tribulation, hard times. And you're gonna see that, all right, as these things begin to take effect in this society, man. The famines, all right, evils, and people are gonna lose it. There's a saying that goes, when people have nothing to lose, they lose it. That's basically what these devils are touting. That these people will own nothing to be happy. But in all actuality, they're being stripped of everything, man. And it's gonna come out as sudden. But it's to have the eyesight to see these things that are getting ready to take place. And we're measuring the time diligently, man. We're getting ourselves prepared, mentally. Seeking the Lord out and trying to do what's well pleasing in His sight, so that, Lord willing, we be protected in these times. Because the Lord did say that His servants shall eat.
I got a precept on that, what you was just saying, bro.
Hmm.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 22, and verse 3. A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, right? And that's what the men of the Lord are doing. We're watching for these bad times, giving out the warnings, and we're hiding ourselves, man, by staying close to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. But the simple pass on and are punished, right? And that's these people, man, really starting with Esau and the 2/3 who got that spirit, that proud spirit, just like Esau, man. They gonna be punished for the things of for continuing in that proud spirit while being immature, man. Because here in Babylon, we got a lot of men who grown men who think like an adolescent still, man. They think like teenagers and they don't want to mature. So everything and every little thing offends them, and they're proud, man. That's why they gotta go. These 2/3.
The
But we,
scriptures say, fools despise wisdom and instruction, man. This is what's gonna. Scriptures talk about knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of our times and strength of salvation. People think it a joke what we're out there doing. All right. And, elsewhere it talks about how they think it's strange that we run not to the same excess of right. People think us to be crazy. That we're not following after the rudiments of this world, man. But this world's going to shit speedily, man.
Quick. The elect is pretty much sealed, man. I mean, the events that are happening say they are, because those angels are talking about a revelation holding the four winds. That's talking about the destruction. But you got to realize before that final destruction comes, the Lord said that He would send plagues. So the Lord's going to systematically break this place down, and He's doing it before our eyes. To see it finally happen is it's huge. It's huge because we've been talking about this for years. The elder apostles have been talking about this 40 years, starting from Apostle Tahar on down. Elder Abba Bib go even further. Go even further than that.
yeah. You want me to continue on that second Esdras?
If you can, that second is 15, right?
No, I'm on 6.
Okay. Yeah, continue with that 25, and we'll just end it right there.
Con. This is second Ezra chapter 6 and verse 25. Whosoever remaineth from all these that I have told thee shall escape and see my salvation and the end of your world.
Right, man. That's the elect. Okay. So Lord willing, we be of that number. Okay. But the elect are gonna escape all these things that are coming, all these calamities that the Lord is gonna bring to this place in the world. Okay, because that strain is being put not only on these Americans, but as we're hearing that on the global economy is being affected by these tariffs. So, and again, the MOTB is going to be pushed throughout the whole earth. So everybody is going to be put under a strain. Okay, everybody's getting ready to be tested because this was going to be pushed. But the elect are going to pass through with flying colors, man. All right, and the scriptures say that the righteous shall scarcely be saved. Where shall the sinner and the ungodly appear? Roughly paraphrase. And we don't know exactly how that's gonna happen. We can't say exactly how we're gonna be fed in that time, but it's gonna, we trust and believe that the Lord is gonna cover us in that time. We're willing. We're not gonna be left high and dry. He's gonna feed us. Yeah, it's gonna be serious. It's gonna be a time like never before. Jeremiah 30:7, in the time of Jacob's trouble, a time like never before. So you've had examples of famines in the past. You've had examples. I always think about when Samaria was besieged by the Syrians, Ben-Hadad, king of Syria. And what happened? You had our people that were selling shit that literal shit, calves dung, doves dung, right? Stuff that shouldn't even be considered food, but because the famine was so bad back then, you know, what choice did people have? And there were even resulting to cannibalism, eating each other, you know. But how much more worse than this time?
During that time, it was really, really bad too. Imagine rationing poop out. They was trying to ration stuff out like that. They was all looking at it, or who gonna eat the poop? All right, you got it next. Cannibalism, like the brother said, it's about to be like out of a Hollywood movie, but Hollywood ain't got nothing on this because it's just about to be so graphic. It's about to be so graphic and crazy. I haven't been in a grocery store, but I can imagine that panic. I haven't been in like a week, but I can imagine panic buying is probably gonna start in either this week or maybe next week because people are gonna start getting scared. They don't watch the news, but they follow along with everybody else. They're gonna see people, everybody else running in, stocking their carts up, and they're gonna do the same thing without even watching the news. I see, I'm gonna do it too. You know. You said more on that, or that was it?
Yeah, that was it on that.
I'm gonna go to the book of Habakkuk, and I'm gonna start at verse 17. Although the fig tree should not blossom, neither should the fruit be in the vines. The labor of the olive shall fail, and the field shall yield no meat. The flock shall be cut off from the fold, and there shall be no herd in the stalls. To get these resources, you know, because it said it brought up all the resources, but it says, and the field shall yield no meat. Imagine having no, you know, you go to your favorite restaurant, you can't eat nothing. You go to Stater Brothers, and they don't got no poultry. They don't got no eggs. They don't have no dairy milk like everybody loves. You know, people are gonna go crazy. And there's one thing at first they're gonna be like, my kid can't eat, and then it's gonna turn to I can't eat. Fuck that. Is I need to eat. People are gonna be going through desperate measures because there's gonna be a lack of resources. You know, if the Lord is with you, you don't gotta eat your kids. That's not what you have in your mind. That's a demon that jumps on people to make them want to eat. You know, a cow. I can't remember the name verbatim. It's on the top of my head, but it's literally a cannibal demon that's going to jump on these people and have to eat each other like it's a hometown buffet or something. You know, verse 18 it says Habakkuk 3:18. Yet I will rejoice in the Lord Yahweh. I will joy in the power of my salvation. Who's going to do that? The elect, because we're going to be the only ones in a good spirit during that time. Isaiah 4:1. You know, people are something different about these guys. They got a glow. We all famished, we all weak. Just like the elder has said today. Everybody's gonna be famished around us, and we still gonna be vibrant, having energy, having our strength. You know, the average tough guy is gonna lose his strength. Let a week pass. This nigga's gonna be finished. Like Big U. He's supposed to be a tough guy, right? The most feared guy in LA. Watching the family hit his ass. He gonna be weak as hell. How you gonna be a tough guy if you can barely walk? You know, if you didn't drink water in 7-8 days. You know? So the Lord's gonna be this for his elect. I can get something else if bros got it.
I got something real quick. This is back in 2nd Ezra 15, verse 11. It says, "But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretch out arm." You know, that part going into the elect being delivered, you know, by way of Yahushua and his holy angels. Scriptures refer to him as the arm of the Heavenly Father, you know. And but before the deliverance can take place, before the destruction could take place, you know, things are going to be happening in the earth. You know, various calamities. You know, and we're just seeing the tip of that iceberg, the beginning of sorrows. Right? But it says, "But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretch out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof." And this Egypt is speaking about this modern day Egypt. Revelation 11:8 speaks about America being spiritual Sodom and Egypt. All right, but this is that modern day Egypt, and will destroy all the land thereof, because ancient Egypt wasn't destroyed wholly, like completely, you know. But this place, America, is going to be destroyed by way of thermonuclear missiles. Egypt shall mourn and the foundation of it will be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it. Right? So Egypt shall mourn, i.e. the people. Okay, these Egyptians are mourning because of the policies that Trump is bringing about. All right. And the harsh things that are coming down, and the foundation of it will be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High will bring upon it. So the foundation of America, man, is circling down the drain. They're already speaking about how fragile this infrastructure is. In the case of a blackout, I got a little bit of information it blows my mind. But I basically went into ChatGPT and asked, how would a nationwide blackout affect American infrastructure? It says a nationwide blackout in the United States would severely disrupt nearly every aspect of critical infrastructure. Key impacts include power grid and energy. And note that almost everything, critical in American infrastructure is backed by the power grid. It says a blackout would cripple the generation, transmission, and distribution of electricity. Starting the grid, a black start would be complex, especially without localized power islands or functioning control systems. Says communications, cellular networks, internet services, and broadcast media would go down rapidly once backup batteries and generators fail. Coordination between emergency services and governmental agencies would be hindered. And that could tie into the famine of the word, Amos 8 and 11. You see, people can talk shit all they want, and laugh at the Lord's prophets out there that are bringing the warning day in and day out there on the highways and hedges and doing these video epistles. But they're soon going to realize that this is the real deal, man. And a lot of people are going to regret that they didn't take heed, Because again, Amos 8 and 11 speaks on how they're going to wander to and fro, to seek the word of the Lord, and they're not going to be able to find it. Because they're going to want answers in that time. But they're not going to get it from the Christian church. They're not going to get it from these Catholic, the Catholic or the Christian church or Islam or whatever, man. Transportation, traffic signals, rail systems, and air traffic control and fuel supply chains will be affected. Airports will shut down and fuel stations will be inoperative without power, disrupting logistics and civilian mobility. Elsewhere in what 2 Ezra 15 talks about how man shall desire to go into the city and shall not be able. It could be many reasons. It could be the just chaos that's out in these streets, people killing one another, power outage and transportation, like we just read. Fuel stations would be inoperative without power, disrupting logistics, civilian mobility. Not to mention when there's chaos in the streets, they're eventually going to come down with them lockdowns, man. Martial law. These troops are going to set up checkpoints and cut off, highways and entrances to other cities. It says water, wastewater, healthcare, hospitals can operate on generators temporarily, but a sustained blackout would exhaust fuel supplies, compromise life support systems, and limit electronic medical record access. Financial systems, banking, ATMs, and electronic transactions would cease. Economic activity will slow drastically as digital payment systems and trading platforms become unavailable. Food supply chains, refrigeration, food processing, and distribution rely on power. Perishable goods will spoil quickly, and restocking stores will become difficult, leading to shortages. You see? Yeah, that was it on that.
And if I could say, how Esau, he's trying to change his money system, this paper cash, to all digital. And then say if a blackout were to happen, which it will, and you can't even finance your digital money, and these niggas who took the chip, they gonna flip out even more. They gonna lose their mind. you know. And you people got a lot. Well, y'all got what's coming to you, man. You know, for not taking heed to the word and the wisdom of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, man. And yeah, that's it.
I got something in the book of Psalms 37. Actually, I want to touch on it before I get this. I want to touch on a little bit about what the brother was saying. That blackout is gonna be devastating, you know. And I'm gonna touch quick to go with it. This is Psalms 37:19. They should not be ashamed in the evil times. It's talking about the bad times that are coming. The day is talking about the elect. Everybody bring out the blackout. You know, people watch Hollywood so much. You got a movie called The Chronicles of Riddick, right? He can see in the dark. He can beat people up, jump off cars. Okay, try to do that in Jacob's Trouble. Let's see how far you get with that. Because you got to try to get the gird up their loins, prepare themselves by watching a movie like that, 300, Batman, and they're gonna go out there and really try to do something. And they're gonna end up getting their heads split open, man, because the Lord's not dealing with them. You know, there's not gonna be a tough guy that's gonna make it out of Jacob's Trouble because he was a badass. You know, because he do a black belt combo and he knew how to cook food on the go. All that is carnal. All that is carnal. You know, but it says, and in the days of famine, they should be satisfied. So you're gonna have the bad times, which the family is gonna be a part of the bad times. Who you know that said they hungry as hell, they having a good time, they having a ball. Especially women, when bitches get hungry, they get in a bad mood within an hour. You know? Your cousin get hungry, he ready to fight somebody. Your brother get hungry, he ready to kill somebody. These type of things are gonna be going through people's heads. Maybe not the first day, or maybe so. Because you got people in a 600-pound weight they can't even move though. They might die within the first couple of days because they used to eat like, what is that, 10,000 calories a day? So really, people gonna be looking at them as beneficial. They can get a couple meals out of them 600-pound people. Because remember, cannibalism is gonna be going around. You got somebody 600 pounds, shit, that might be able to last you. Seriously, people gonna be cutting up body parts, throwing them in the freezer. They gonna be working. They're gonna just eat it how it is, getting sick, off eating flesh. You know, people really 100 pounds in order to survive. But survive for what? For them, because y'all, I mean, it's not looking good for y'all. You know? So, bro, I'm gonna touch on ultimately how the tariffs is gonna lead to the grinding and ceasing as well. 12. I'm gonna start at verse 1 and I'm gonna jump down. Remember now the Creator of thy youth, while the evil days come not. What I just get? It was talking about the evil days, and the evil days is here. They draw nigh, meaning they're near. They're right here. The guy on that video said in a few weeks. How many days are in a week? 7 days. What's a few weeks? A month? A month and a half? That's not that much time. People hear a few weeks are, woo, we got some time. Well, that's not a lot of time. You know? And seek him in your youth while you got straight. Why you got zeal. You know, everybody want to wait till bad shit happens till they on their deathbed to start serving the Lord. It's the reason why the Bible is the highest selling book. Why copies been flying off the shelves, you know? And it says, nor the years draw nigh, without to say I have no pleasure. Like I was going into, people wait till they on their deathbed till bad stuff happens to serve the Lord. Just like September, the terrorist attack. I don't want to say the actual date. They might try to hit the video, but you know the terrorist attack with the Twin Towers. Everybody was a holier than thou on the 12th, on the 13th, on the 14th. But what about all the days and the years before that, man? You know, even though the debauchery wasn't as bad then, it still was bad. Okay, because if you don't have Yahweh Bashim outside, you're wicked. I don't give a damn what church you go to, how much tithes you give. You're wicked. Because what do you govern your life with? What the Christian church tells you, they tell you can be a faggot and still come to church. 2 men holding hands on a Sunday ceremony or service or whatever the hell. Ecclesiastes 12:3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and it ain't gonna be no more tough guys. The number one thing that America prides itself in is its military might, which makes America strong and mighty, and that's gonna get taken down as well. And the grinders cease, because they are few, and those that look out the windows be darkened. So the grinding is ceasing, and they looking out the window because it's gonna be dark because there ain't gonna be no hope. There ain't gonna be no optimistic thinking. They're gonna be like, man, this got to be it. This got to be it. What's the solution? How is this gonna end? For them, they're gonna see the day of the Lord because they're gonna get destroyed. For us, we're gonna see salvation. You know. And it says, Ecclesiastes 12:4, and the doors shall be shut in the streets. All these businesses closing down when the sound of the grinding is low. You know, people ain't about to be waking up to go to work because it says it right here. And he should rise up at the voice of the bird, your alarm clock. You know, you're not going. What you gonna wake up for an alarm clock when you don't got nowhere to go? You gonna wake up at 8 in the morning and stare at the wall? Because they're gonna cut everything off. You ain't gonna be able to watch TV. You only gonna be able to do that maybe at the beginning. And shit, we at the beginning right now, so you can do it now. You know, Jacob's trouble is really about to come in, and we finally seeing it. And it says, and the stars of the music should be brought low. Going into the music because the music industry is trash right now too. I remember during the pandemic, all the celebrities were sad because they couldn't go out and do their shows, their concerts. They couldn't go sign autographs. See, Satan start fucking with them when they can't do the things that they wanted to do because they had to sell their soul to be able to do those things. So they're like, damn it, I just did all this and I can't do it now. God damn it. You know, nobody ain't about to be worried about a concert in the times to come. I kid you not. For what? They're going to be famous dancing to a Chris Brown song? Come on now. Rose,
Nah,
let me get this last one then. Bob and Shaw.
gone. Well, yeah, if I could say too, like dealing with automation and shit, you know, AI is getting to replace a lot of people's jobs. All the strain that they're putting on the, the people is getting them prepared to be reliant on this government to the point that they offer them that solution, you know, which is the chip.
It's only going to be a temporary forever, like they say in the world. A temporary forever. They're not going to tell you people that because they're going to, their words are smooth as butter. It don't work. What they're going to do is everything's going to go back to normal. The girls could be whores again in the club. Guys could be faggots. The girls could be lesbians. Walmart's going to stay open. Sam's Club's going to stay open. And you could even go to Disneyland. They're going to throw a bunch of bullshit out there. You know, Brandon Circus, give you guys entertainment to keep you distracted. And right when everything seems like it's picture perfect going normal, the Lord's going to crack the clouds. You know, and really, Salaki, when the Lord cracks the clouds, all hell's going to be broken loose. You know, but things are going to see picture perfect leading up to all hell breaking loose. Okay, and the Lord's going to crack the clouds during chaos. That's what I meant to say, Salaki. Because there's going to be fire already on the earth. The Lord's coming with more fire. Just like the scriptures say. I'm going to get this last precept in Revelation 18 and 22. Get to the point. And the voice of the harpers and musicians and the pipers and the trumpeters should be heard no more at all in thee. You know, just like I went into this, music is dirt. Craftsman of whatsoever craft he be shall be found any more in thee. And the sound of a millstone shall be heard no more at all in thee. So no matter what craft you have, whether you're a construction worker, an electrician, you wash cars, you clean clothes, whatever you do, because they got laundry services now too. Not gonna be heard no more at all in America because there ain't gonna be no jobs. And it says that the sound of a millstone shall be heard all in thee. What do you do at a millstone? You grind it. People be like, I've been grinding. I've been on my grind. I mean, they've been grinding. They've been working. They've been getting to it. Nobody ain't gonna be saying that day. Nobody ain't gonna be saying that day because there ain't gonna be no more jobs. Go on Indeed when Jacob's trouble fully kick off and see how many jobs you see. Because they might still have the jobs open, but do the application and see if they get back to you. They're not going to. It's over. Just like it's over for the society. And all praise to Yahweh Bashim Yahshua.
God, that was it I had on that.
Goes out.
Yeah, Khan. So yeah, man, in closing, once again, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to our Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Hakudash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone and taught us the truth. And peace and blessings to the elect. To the next we say Shalom.
Shalom.